Welcome to episode 206 of the Fully In It podcast. Do you know how some businesses, you look at them and you just want to buy everything that they offer? Like you just love their look, you love how it makes you feel. It's so inviting and it just speaks to you. What creates that? And how can you brand your business in a way that speaks to your best people as well? Let's go ahead and dig right in. Welcome to the Fully In It podcast with Kate Saffel, a show for powerful moms growing life-changing businesses while showing up intentionally for their families. I teach you how to create a family-first and profitable business in less time by leveraging simple strategy, mom life-friendly systems, and above all, the mindset of going fully in it. You ready? So how has your June been? I mean, I'm recording right now. It's July 1st. It's hard to believe that we are just in full swing in the summertime. And I know for my Southern Hemisphere mamas, you're going into winter. My apologies. But we've been really busy, and we haven't been busy with really fun things. My family has been really sick for the last few weeks. It started with summer camp. One of my kiddos came home, then got sick a few days later, and then it's just been like dominoes moving its way through our family. And I was really, really sick myself. I'm just now starting to feel better and kind of like get back into the swing of things. So I've been wanting to record for a while, but it has just been, I've been in the thick of motherhood and taking care of sick children and focusing on, my home and all of that. But I am here. And I feel like, yes, I can finally start building some momentum again. And I know you understand that as a fellow mom. So I'm going to be recording more regular episodes going forward. So make sure that you are subscribed and you keep an eye out for those because there are some really good ones that are going to be coming your way. My mastermind, the Family Fueled CEO Mastermind, just ended this past Monday. We had started in January, and it was hard to believe that the end had finally come. This group was so incredible. I loved working with these women, and we finally wrapped up. And I have a little bit of a pause here. July, I've got no mastermind. And then the next round starts on August 10th. So I am currently enrolling. And that is the space for you if you are in a season of scaling your business and you don't want to do it by adding more hustle, more time, more effort, taking away from your family. And instead, you want to focus on the business minimums that will create the revenue you desire in less time. So if that speaks to you, you want to be surrounded by other inspirational mom business owners from around the world, you definitely need to join us. Head to happierinmotherhood.com/mastermind to apply. And I would love to see your application come into my inbox and see if we've got a spot for you. So let's talk about branding your business. I'm going to be dividing this up into 2 episodes. So today's episode is going to be specifically about the visuals. This is what we typically think of when we think of branding. And then on my next episode, I'm going to talk about your voice and your messaging, because in my book, that is just as important as the pictures, the images, the colors. And we will get into all of that soon. Because here is the goal, right? Is when your imagery is on point and you've nailed your voice, your messaging, your best people will flock to you. And it's going to require much less heavy lifting on your part if you nail these elements of your business. Now, what you don't want is a brand that looks like everyone else. I remember in the mid-2020s, every coach had the same looking brand. Like everybody looked the same. It was like the same fonts, the same colors, the same visuals. And it was this crazy thing where you could almost tell who was coaching with who based on how their business branding looked. We don't want that, because when you look like everyone else, obviously, 1, you don't stand out, but 2, your people don't see what makes you so unique and so special. And so that goes for your fonts as well. You want to make sure that you're actually intentionally choosing fonts to use with your business and not just whatever the font is that pops up. We're not using Times New Roman or whatever, Courier New, just to get fancy. No, you need to put some time into it. There's websites where you can purchase fonts. They're not expensive. And then you can upload those into your website. You can use them in your content. And that's just like a really easy way to differentiate yourself. We also don't want stock photos. Well, one, we kind of just don't want stock photos, but we also don't want stock photos that are so generic that it just looks like you could be anyone else, right? Like I think about photos for businesses. Let's think of like bookkeepers or something like that. And it's always like pictures of the computer, pictures of spreadsheets, pictures of like a flat lay of a desk. And it's all very corporate looking. And if you are a very heart-centered bookkeeper, you want something that reflects who you are and not just this generic idea of what a bookkeeper is, because you want to differentiate yourself from other bookkeepers. So you have to think about like what makes you stand out compared to other bookkeepers. And this is going to be the same thing for whatever business industry you are in. At the end of the day, you don't want to be forgettable. You want to be memorable, but how do we be memorable in our business branding? Well, I want to talk about what that actually means. So this is what I imagine it is. It's like when someone is away from your business branding, right? Like they're not on their computer, they're not on their phone. They're still thinking about you. They're thinking about what you offer. They're mulling over it in their mind. They don't forget you. You stand out compared to every other option they have in the business category that you're in. And it's what makes them think to check, does she have a new podcast episode? Does she have a new YouTube episode out? It's what makes them just randomly get on your website and look around. It makes them feel something that is so different from how their life currently is. They're getting a feeling from you and your branding. Whether you have a product-based business, you have a consulting, coaching type business, or a service-based business, there is something happening in your branding that is not overtly communicated, but they feel it on a deep level and they're not forgetting about you. Good branding makes a person make moves, to take an action. So ultimately, we want this to mean that they're going to buy from you, but at a minimum, they're going to follow you, they're going to subscribe, they're going to listen, whatever it is, it creates an action instead of them just moving beyond, moving past. So to brand your business, at the end of the day, you have to understand your people. And if you don't, like this is exercise number one, is to really get to know your people. Who are they? And more importantly, what do they desire? So like, who are they is the first layer. Like we think about that. That's kind of like your basic avatar. I'm not like super into the whole avatar thing. I think it's can keep you from going deeper with your people and like really understanding them as humans when we place them in boxes that are like, she's a 30-something woman and she went to college and she lives in the suburbs. We want to go deeper than that. And so I like to think about what do they desire? Because sometimes your ideal person may fit into a couple different identity boxes, but they all share similar desires. What do they want? What would change their lives? What would make a difference in their everyday life? Think about what that could be. You want to be clear on their aspirations, their goals, and specifically, what is your business solving for them? Now, here's the key thing. This is the piece that if you learn this right now, like you learn this for your branding, you learn this for your marketing and in your sales, this will change everything for you. And my clients are so used to me saying this, they probably just like, I don't know, maybe they roll their eyes or they're just like, oh, there's Kate again. But I want you to answer this question. How would they feel once they have what they desire? So that's what I'm always talking about. I'm asking my clients, how does this feel for you? What's the emotion? How would you feel if you had this thing that you desire? Because as humans, we make moves based on our emotional state. We are emotional beings, especially us women, right? And so the emotions that you feel will either make you want to run towards something or away from something, or if it's not a strong enough emotion that it's eliciting, you're not going to take any actions. So we want to be clear on what those feelings are that they would have once they have what they desire. Next, imagine their desires in visual form. Now, this is kind of cool, right? Like, what would those images be? Like, if you were to make a brochure for the destination that your people are heading to, what would be on it? And what emotions would they be drawn to feeling? I'm sure you look at images, right, and they make you feel something. I know whenever I'm picking pictures for my content, I ask myself, I'm like, how does this make me feel right now? Does this match the mood or the feeling I'm trying to create with my words? And sometimes I choose the wrong photo and I'm like, nope, that one did not work because it didn't match the emotion of the post or, the blog post or whatever it is that I am creating. So you create an emotional state for your best people through the colors that you use, the fonts that you choose, and the images, everything that makes up the visuals of your brand. And so I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like for me in my own business, kind of talk you through some of the choices I have made. I've had my current branding for about 5 years now. I've kind of tweaked it over the years. It's shifted a little bit. But let's talk first about my colors. So my colors are a hot pink and then a bright blue. I have a very neutral, creamy white, and then an inky navy black. And those are my main colors. And you probably know them because I have been consistently using them for 5 years. Now, why did I choose these colors? Right? There's so many colors to choose from. It can be really overwhelming to brand your business and decide. But I was really drawn to these colors, and here's why. I chose the color hot pink as one of my main colors because my business has always been, at the end of the day, right? It's always been about personal development for mothers, through your home, through your business, and through who you are being in the world. I am personally concerned about helping you be the best version of you as a woman and as a mother. And so I chose the color hot pink to get you to move. That's not a color of standing still. That's not a color of neutrality. It is bold. And I wanted you to feel bold when you look at my branding. And then when it comes to my bright blue, that color is a bit grounding. It reminds me of water, like pools and oceans. It's a little bit calmer of a color, so it's a good match for the pink. But part of that choice was that it speaks to my own lifestyle that I have, right? And this dreamy life that I've created. First, traveling full-time in our RV from ocean to ocean in the United States. And then now we live by the ocean. We live near the Gulf in Florida. And we have this very resort style lifestyle that I love. This was a dream of mine many years ago when I was first starting my business and I was thinking about what could be possible for my family and I. We would dream about moving to Florida. We would dream about travel. We would dream about having this luxurious resort style lifestyle. That's just what spoke to us. And so when I chose the color blue, I wanted to remind you and all the moms in my community that it's possible for you too to have kind of a bit of that vacation vibe in your life. Motherhood can just be such a grind. And so I wanted this color to pull you out of the everyday. And so I chose those colors on purpose. And then I also chose imagery, like the pictures that I use and even the photo shoots that I've done have all been very intentional to create a bright, inviting, lush, and kind of vacation vibes in my photos. When I first started my business, I did do a lot more realistic kind of motherhood style photos. But as time went on, I knew that I needed images that really called my moms forward. I didn't want you to feel stuck in where you're at in motherhood, but I wanted you to feel inspired to take the leap, to do something big, to believe in yourself and make big moves. And so I made sure, and I continue to make sure, that my images create that feeling. So as you imagine your brand, I want you to think of some of the tweaks you may want to make, and also consider this. You may feel challenged by changing up your brand if it's one that you've had for a while, or if you kind of did it quickly and you didn't really think it through. And now you're faced with like, oh, maybe I should bring some more intentionality to it. Just know that it's going to feel uncomfortable because change is always uncomfortable. But again, just like I've been telling you about the branding, I want you to focus on what is the end goal. The end goal is that you are going to reach your best people, that you're going to more effortlessly call them in. But you can't call people in if you're not clearly speaking to someone, right? We can't speak to everyone. We got to speak to someone. So start just gathering visuals of imagery and colors and things that inspire you. If something just kind of gives you like a little nudge of delight, take a screenshot of it, save it, keep a folder of what inspires you. Then ask yourself, why? What does this create within you? And could some of this work in your own brand? Does it reflect the feelings that you want your people to feel? Build out a mood board of visuals that you can then use to update your colors, your fonts, and the banks of photos that you use consistently. And you may want to do a new photo shoot as a way to express the look that you want to convey. If that's something that you can do, I highly recommend a photo shoot, because there's something so powerful of getting in front of the camera and showing up big as the woman that you are and the woman that you are becoming via your business. At the end of the day, though, remember to stay you. You don't need to look or act like anyone else, right? Like, I don't know what it was about the mid 2020s, and maybe you totally missed this. But again, in the coaching world, it was like not everyone, but a lot of like business coaches were taking like these like half naked photos. And I'm like, okay, nothing about that appeals to me. Nothing about that makes me want to hire you as my coach. And I know it spoke to their people, right? They're doing like these like lingerie shoots for business coaching. I'm like, okay, you do you. All that to say, don't like look at what other people in your industry are doing and feel like you have to do what they're doing. I want you to be you, because there is only one you in the world, and there is only one version of your business in the world. And we want it to reflect you as much as possible, so that when people come upon it, they're like, yes, that's her. And they're so excited to be in your community, and they're so excited to buy from you. And they become loyal to everything that you do. And that's how you build a business with longevity and sustainability. So I hope that this encourages you and it excites you. It gives you something to maybe work on, a little bit of homework, or maybe you already love your business branding and this just reminded you of why. Either way, I am cheering you on. Come join me in the mastermind. We've already got some spots taken, so there's only a few left. Make sure to come apply if that speaks to you. And I will see you on the next episode of the podcast.